Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 178. And we are here to speak about a week where Hearts have went unbeaten. We've won in Europe. We didn't lose in a derby, although that's not much of a celebration for us. Maybe the other side, but no for us. However, in terms of how weeks go, especially this season, it's been a pretty good one. So to speak about all of that, I, as ever, am Daniel McIver, joined by Adam Kennedy. Adam, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. You were talking about kind of best weeks. It's unquestionably the best week of the season,
Yeah.
but that doesn't say much with regards to the season before a certain someone came in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, all right. Was dreading coming on here yesterday afternoon at about, well, I don't know, maybe what, like quarter to two, but then
Yeah.
actually thought, do you know what? Like they stayed with it till the end. Because we've not discussed many Derby defeats on here, and
No.
that's not what I wanted to be doing. Almost certainly not what you wanted to be doing. And thankfully we won't have to. And I can't wait to chat about a wonderful win in Europe as well. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm pretty pleased, all told.
Yeah, good. I'm very glad to hear. And yeah, like as you say, it's not been hard this season to have a good week, considering how poor the weeks have been.
We've just made it hard.
Yeah, but even in terms of a good season, this is probably still considered to be a pretty good week. When you play three, you don't lose, you keep 2 out of 3 clean sheets. In the game, you don't keep a clean sheet, you only concede one. You score 7 goals. Like, we've actually had a new manager bounce for the first time, I think, in our lives. Because we never get one of them, ever.
No, I can't think of.
Actually, I have a stat. This isn't in the quiz, so I can say it now. The last Hearts manager to win their opening 2 games domestically was Robbie Nielsen circa 2015. Well,
Jesus.
14-15.
Over Rangers and Hibs.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Jesus.
Because
Yeah.
Cathro
So
didn't do
so
it.
we've essentially been waiting a decade for this.
Yes, exactly. Now, Pritchley still didn't do it because he drew, but
Aye, domestic. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he won these 2 opening games. So we take what you can get here,
That's
basically.
listen. We've got a 100% record on the continent, Daniel McIver. I can't stress this enough. We're tied top of the table. When has this ever happened before?
I don't
Has
know.
this happened before?
No, not in
This
our
is great.
lifetime. Not in our lifetime. Who ever complained about the changes to European competitions, by the way? I am all for it.
The new format, the best thing UEFA have ever done. The
Yeah.
random generated draw,
Yep.
yeah, with the
Yep.
big ball, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I'm not questioning it
No.
now. I
No.
initially was, but it's yeah, nice.
Huge, huge fan. And let's immediately start with that because, yes, last Thursday night I was stuck in work training, so missed it. Continuing the thread of Daniel misses Hearts games in Europe and Hearts win. You're all
Stay the
fucked.
hell away.
No, I'm going to the next 2 home games. You're all fucked. But
Oh, well,
yes,
if we get pumped off Heidenheim, that's expected.
yeah,
However, if we do not beat Petroglyph,
Petro
that is
Club.
entirely your fault.
Yeah, I'll take
Entirely
the
your
heat on
fault.
that. That's absolutely fair. But Ammonia Nicosia, Neil Lennon's former side, travelled to Tynecastle from Cyprus in a game that I think a lot of Hearts fans didn't really know how to feel about because it's a it was a situation that we were going in off a win, but in terms of domestically and in Europe, actually, but it's still Europe. It's still us. We were only the second game in Neil Critchley's era. We played a St Mirren side who are in free fall, basically, and just look like they're really struggling. So who knew what it was going to be like? And when you saw the team, I actually had missed it. So I didn't see anything until I came out. So I'm even more interested to get your reaction because there were a few changes to the team as I suddenly become the palest I've ever been in my life. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks BBC. So Craig Gordon stayed in goals, and we stuck with this 4-4-2/4-2-4 that Neil Critchley clearly really likes. What were all the Blackpool fans speaking about with his 3-5-2? Clearly have no idea. Now, the BBC does have it wrong because it has Blair Spittle as a number 9. But, I mean, maybe
Can
he
I
should be.
can
But,
I just say, talking about the formation, I I just think I think when you look at a manager coming into a club now, there's something this just seems to have become a thing in recent years where people look at it and go, well, the manager plays this way, but he doesn't necessarily look at the squad and utilize the players that he's got at his disposal.
yeah,
So you mentioned Blackpool fans in the formation there. I think Neil Critchley's looked at it and gone, well, Hearts have played a 3/5 back for most of the season, and look at where they are. I've got to go to a back four for the time being because I've got to pick results up. I've got to try and make them ascend up the league table, and ultimately pick up a squad that's low on morale. We might see a centre half or two, a full back stroke wing back or two come into the club in the summer. And then we might opt to go in a different direction. But I think for the meantime, he's looked at the squad, basically said, right, how can I get the best out of a number of players? Your James Penrice's, your Blair Spittles, Jan Dandas, people that have made a difference in recent fixtures. And the 4-4-2 is working for the time being. He might not stick with that in January, post January. He might not stick with that post next summer. But I think what has become clear is this setup right now, and some personnel in particular, are here to stay for the time being because
definitely.
we're picking up results. We may see a change later down the line, but I think it's imperative that we stick to what's working at this current minute in time.
Well, we didn't because we made a whole raft of changes. The fullbacks were both
I mean,
changed.
you say that with personnel. I just mean with the setup generally, you
Yeah,
cheeky bastard.
had to just get in a wee dig when I can. Stephen
Thanks, mate.
Kingsley and Adam Forrester came in for Daniel Ugoki and Luke Penrice, respectively. And then Boateng came in for Benny. And that was kind of all the big
No, he
alarm
didn't.
bells.
Cammy Devlin came in for Benny.
Yeah, sorry. I keep
Did
forgetting.
he?
I keep forgetting
Why
that.
are you doubt? Why are you making me doubt
No,
this
you
now?
are right because the whole thing was
Yeah, it
Boateng and
was.
Benny
Yeah,
played really well.
yes,
It's
yes,
just
yes,
that
yes.
currently I'm looking at the BBC and it has Cammy Devlin at left mid. So I was like, oh, that must be the change.
Oh yeah,
But
the
no.
BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they obviously do their due diligence on Hearts and care as much about
Yeah.
Scottish football as everybody else.
Additionally, Jan Danda fell away for Alan Forrest, and the front four was Alan Forrest and Blair Spittle on either side with Kenny Vargas and Lawrence Shankland up front. Quite a fair amount of changes from a position that Neil Critchley did preface by saying, we're going to have to use the squad. We've got so many games. I mean, we're sat here after a double header. We're about to preview a double header of games. And the week after that, we
Yeah,
have another double header. We're literally just playing two
thick and
games every
fast.
week. So it makes complete sense. But how did you feel going into that with the amount of changes after such a comfortable win against St Mirren?
I was gutted not to see Benny Beningame feature because he's our best midfielder by a million miles. Um, However, again, got to look at it rationally. We're we've got a derby coming up at this stage of the week.
Yep.
It's a bit weird because obviously we've had the derby since.
And we
To
know he
try and
was
think
ill.
back to how, yeah.
Yeah.
The fullbacks, I wasn't too bothered. I think it was when I saw Stephen Kingsley, I thought, right, well, we might have a little bit of a threat down kind of the Ammonia right hand side. Um, was it Semedo down the right, or
Yeah,
maybe
Will
he?
Semedo was at right
Yeah.
back.
So I thought maybe keep Stephen Kingsley's obviously that bit more defensively astute, let's say, than Luke Penrice.
Yep.
Alan Forrest, I'll be honest, I think is the only chalk on the boots type winger we've got. I don't really see any others. So I did think there was a wee bit of an imbalance with he and Blair Spittle on the flanks, particularly if Spittle was on the left, because we've basically ruled out Stephen Kingsley coming forward at any given chance. So I thought it was a wee bit imbalanced there, but it just goes to show what I know. I'm pleased that Cammy Devlin obviously was given a chance, as opposed to Benny Beningame, because I don't know why. Like these two fixtures, obviously Europe, I just think of Cammy Devlin and Rosenborg
Yeah.
naturally. And the Derby, he's basically what I would try and emulate and what
Yeah.
you would try and emulate and just try and cover every blade of grass, smash everybody in sight, and pick up a booking. I mean, that's just a bet builder staple. So
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of changes, had to be done, and thankfully, they proved dividends in the end.
And those dividends were immediately showcased. Now, the first highlight is from kickoff Blair Spittle shooting over the bar within 5 seconds. But
Yeah, let's just calm down. You,
yeah,
you scored a fantastic goal the weekend, Blair, but come on,
yeah.
just
Keep the
easy.
heat, son. It's all right. It's all right. And we don't even need well, I was going to say we don't need to speak about him now. We do. But Frankie Kent brings the ball forward, pushes forward, which is kind of, you associate that with Rolls more than Kent. You don't really associate Frankie Kent coming out from the back with the ball, but he does and plays a 20-yard forward pass, which is shocking, into Kenny Vargas's feet, who just spins, turns, and plays a ball to Blair Spittle on the edge of the box, who is still in his anything I hit is currently going in phase, so I'm just going to hit this. It deflects off the Ammonia player and lands at the feet of Alan Forrest, who does something I don't think anyone expected him to do, and just fucking rattles it into the top near hand corner, past the Ammonia Nicosia goalkeeper. Makes it 1-0. You love a fast start.
I do.
You love Alan Forrest. We as a podcast, love's maybe a strong word, but we
I was
like
going to
Alan
say,
Forrest.
I do like Alan Forrest.
Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for Alan Forrest. I think he offers us something that no other wide player does. However, what I will say is, prior to the goal, he had done absolutely nothing of note. So,
Brilliant.
but I, I don't know if this is just me. I hate, and I mean passionately hate, Hearts attacking the Gorgie stand in the first
Oh
half.
yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But because I'm in upper end, I got a great view of the
Oh
goal.
yeah,
I
of
will say
course,
that.
yeah.
It was a phenomenal finish, literally right behind it. And he's not got a lot of room. It's a
Nah.
fantastic finish. And yeah, really, really pleased for him. I think you mentioned Blair Spittle kind of having the Midas touch. It's certainly not the Pat Fenlon touch as it was a couple episodes ago. um, but we've needed that little bit of luck from an attacking perspective. And we're just fortunate that obviously it finds Forrest. There's nothing fortunate about the finish though. He knows
No.
exactly what he's trying to do with it. And it's past the Nicosia goalie in a flash. And yeah, I think it was important that, again, we kind of put Ammonia under pressure. We intimidate them from the very off, and made the most of an opportunity early doors for sure, because then they're on the back foot. They've got to come out and try and play. And yeah, the first goal was massive. Can I just say, their fans were incredible,
Oh,
Ammonia's.
were they?
They had a brilliant backing. So I'm thinking if these get the first goal in front of their fans, they'll go absolutely wild. They'll go
Mm-hmm.
nuts. And then we might get that little bit more nervous. It was imperative that Hearts had to grab the first goal. And Alan Forrest did so in emphatic fashion, that's for sure.
Right, I'm just going to say everything that happened in this 70-second spell and then ask your thoughts on each thing, because it was
Okay.
crazy. 6 minutes later, Forrester finds Shankland in the box. He spins brilliantly, and his effort looks destined for the bottom corner.
Felt for him. Because he does that last season. It's nestling in the bottom corner.
I think if he does that against most keepers of normal height, he does it.
Yeah.
It goes in. But because the guy's 6'6", he manages to get a touch and he palms it out for a corner. From that,
6'6", that boy. Jeez.
yeah, from that ensuing corner, Frankie Kent has a completely free header, but it goes past the post. Then,
I can't believe you didn't score.
they then work it out, but we then just win a throw in really early on. And you can hear Michael Stewart going, there are two big chances for Hearts. Maybe, have they thrown them away? Who knows? The ball's chucked forward. Shanklin goes to play it to Vargas, but it kind of just hits off Vargas and shoots towards Blair Spittle, who's basically on the penalty spot, who just goes, everything I'm touching is currently going in, who just first time pings it as top right hand corner as you can get.
Postage stamp.
The place goes absolutely mental. Fast start as a fast start. I don't think any Hearts fan could have predicted after 25 minutes we'd be 2-0 up and the place is bouncing.
No, and honestly, I just was thinking, get a third, get a fourth, get a
Yeah.
fifth. Like, just it was brilliant. I think our application is something that we've often criticised and labelled some players. We don't think that some players are necessarily trying hard enough. But in terms of kind of our work rate, our desire, our tenacity, our pressing, I'm really liking what I'm seeing under Neil Critchley so far. The weekend was probably an exception, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe we're not quite at kind of a peak fitness level to press so relentlessly for more than a game a week. But I thought we were bang at it from the get-go against Ammonia. I was really, really pleased with the performance. Um, and yeah, we were hunting them down in packs. It was as good a team press as I've ever seen a Hearts team press. I was really, really impressed. Gave them next to no time, had to make it as intimidating as we could, and I felt that we did that and were thoroughly deserving of the 3 points and two great goals. It's a
Yeah.
phenomenal finish from Blair Spittle. And that was what, 3-3 for him in a
Yeah.
Hearts jersey, which was, I mean, something that I think a month ago none of us would have deemed possible. If you'd have said to me that Blair Spittle would go on and score 3 goals in as many matches, I'd have taken whatever you were drinking or smoking.
I just, it continues to just confuse the fuck out of me what Blair Spittle did to Stephen Naismith. Why would you turn that man into a number 6?
Yeah, I don't know.
A
I
bad
don't
one as
know.
well. It's not even like it was a tactical masterclass where it's like, oh, suddenly Blair Spittle can be a DM. Like it was like, oh no, he's shit there. Obviously shit there.
And like it was, I feel as though it must just have to have been a message to the board where it's like, I've not got anybody
Maybe.
else. Callum Newhoff's
Yeah.
out injured. Benny Beringame we barely see. Cammy Devlin's okay, but he's somebody that I didn't really fancy. Like I don't know. I just prior to Malachi Boateng coming in, it was like I'm playing here. I'm here because I've got nobody else here. But thank God, finally we've realised, oh, he's actually a 10, or he comes in off the flank,
Number 8
or
or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah. He's actually just a good attacking player.
it's no rocket science, McIver.
No, it's not at all. We just kind of kept going. Shanklin has played through, but he drags his shot wide. Forrester plays a deep ball towards the kind of back post. It's passed back across by Alan Forrest, who finds Shanklin, but his effort is kind of just bundled out for a corner. That brings us to the end of the first half. And in terms of first half performances, it's faultless. The only
It
maybe
is.
thing is that you're like, oh, we didn't get a third in that first half.
I was just going to say that, and my, it's not a gripe, but it's an annoyance that I've got. It's just that nothing seems to be happening for Lauren Shankland at the minute. I think even the
Yeah.
weekends further evidence of that. It just like we all thought that the Ross County goal would be the start of
Yeah.
him going on a little run, like the monkey was off his back. But if anything, I just feel like there's more pressure going on and week by week. It's like even now we're looking at top scorers. Blair Spittle and a 17-year-old that was playing for the B team last year
Yeah.
in that order. So something's just got to come off for Shanklin sooner rather than later. I would love for him to net the winner in midweek. That would just
Aye.
be huge for him. Because maybe he's got the Pat Fenlon touch at the minute. Like
Maybe he does.
I don't know. Can Blair Spittle take him kind of aside for some one-to-one finishing?
Yeah.
No idea.
Who knows? I'll be honest, not much then happened for the remainder of the
Oh no,
game.
it died out, but who cares?
Yeah.
It was all about the 3 points.
There was a disallowed goal right at the very end, 80th minute. Shankland actually does well. He played a ball at the back post. Penrice is there, collects it, and drills it back across to George Grant, everybody's favourite. in the 6 yard box, who passes it at the bottom corner, but Shankland is like 10 miles offside. So obviously the goal is
Good.
disallowed. But as you say, that then means Hearts are joint top
I can't believe
of
it.
the Europa
We,
Conference League. And
were we not top for a tiny wee bit?
there was a 10-minute period where Chelsea were drawing, where it
Because
meant
of
that we were,
Panathinaikos.
yeah,
Yep.
where we were actually
What a
top.
time to be alive.
And there is now something like a 92% chance that we will be
Yeah, I
through.
saw that.
So
Was it Mark
what
Donaldson
that
shared that?
what that means is that there's a 92% chance we will be involved in the next round, which could be the teams that finish 9th to 24 playing each other in a knockout.
If we finished in the top 8, that would have been unthinkable.
Yeah, like we're not. That's probably what it's going to
That's a
be.
stretch.
Yeah,
Like, what I want to know is how do they? I don't know if this has been explained or if it has, then I simply just don't understand it. But how do they decide from 9th to 24th who plays who? 9th doesn't play 24th and then 10 plays 23rd or any of that, is it?
it might be. I genuinely don't know because obviously this is the first time they're ever doing it, so it is gonna. It might
Like
be
I
9th to 24th, and then you just keep going until you meet in
10th,
the
23rd,
middle.
11th,
Yeah,
22nd.
or
I have no idea how they do it.
it could be like a playoff system where like, oh no,
Because
because they are saying it's a
but
round.
But the top 8 go through,
Yeah, the
and they
top eight
make
go
up part
through.
of the round of
Yeah,
16. But how how
they
do you
might just do
how
it,
do you decide the
or
fixtures
there
for the
might
other
be a
8?
draw. It might just be a draw, like they do a knockouts draw between 9 and
The
24.
random ball is just there
Yeah,
again.
yeah, and it's just like, oh shit, we could get somebody really good or
Oh,
24.
oh,
Yeah.
bang, and then see what
Copenhagen haven't
happens.
won a game yet, by the way. They've been beat twice.
I'm saying absolutely nothing.
We're going to
I'm
win!
saying,
We're going to get Denmark and win! It's going to be
well, top 8,
amazing.
here we come.
Yeah,
Round of six.
exactly.
Imagine round of 16. Imagine the Hearts ended up in round of
Imagine
16. Oh
us
my god.
seeing knockout football for Hearts. I'd take finishing 10th. But
Oh,
like, who
100%.
cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could not give a shit. Imagine, like, I think I'd be selling absolutely everything I own just to try and fund trips and tickets. Like,
Yeah.
it would be unbelievable.
Just crazy. But that was Thursday. We then had the small matter of an Edinburgh derby to come off the back of that on the Sunday. But
The bottom 2 teams in the Scottish
yep, the
Premiership.
worst teams in the world. And let's be honest, the game was reflective of that. But before
Oh,
we
it
get
absolutely
that,
was. Did Sky say that it was not since like August 1985 or something? That it was the
oh,
first time that
I don't know,
the bottom 2 were playing, like the 2 Edinburgh clubs were the bottom 2.
bottom two.
Something wild like that. Like,
It's crazy.
crazy.
It's absolutely mad. Before we get into that, we will discuss, however, the other fixtures in Scotland because there was some interesting ones, I guess. Aberdeen
That's one way of putting it.
continued to just win every game
They're going to win the league.
as they beat. No, they're not. They're not even going to finish second. As they beat Dundee United 1-0 at Pittodrie. Kilmarnock cannot keep 11 men on the football pitch. That's the main takeaway
To
from
be
this
fair,
weekend.
at least thankfully the referee intervened and they kicked 10 because for a
True.
time it looked like they were gonna have 9, but that was just a ridiculous decision. But carry on.
As
I'm just pleased
incredibly,
they didn't win because I thought they
yeah,
were gonna win.
Ross County beat them 2-1 in the Highlands, admittedly, but still, like coming off a win over Rangers, you think you're going to kick on from there, but no.
Go on, Don. What a man.
Liam Donnelly just goes, I'll put a stop to that. Thank you very much. Then, the other shocking result, St Johnstone just continued to be quite good since appointing this guy who has not yet stepped in the dugout. Maybe when he steps in the dugout, they'll become shit.
Well, I mean, he did at the weekend, but how annoying is it that St Jobbie are now picking up results before we play them at the weekend?
Yeah.
I honestly would not be surprised to see them beat St Mirren on Wednesday night.
No, I agree. I think St Mirren will get beat.
I genuinely would not surprise
Yeah.
me. Shocked they're picking up momentum before playing us.
No idea what Dundee are doing. And then the Sunday games, it was the derby, as we will speak about. Celtic just ran out very comfortable winners against what turned out to be 10 men Motherwell, which is one of the clearest red cards you'll ever see, regardless of what Stuart Kettlewell says. And then Rangers continued to just struggle over that line as they beat St Mirren 2-1 at Ibrox. What did you make of the other results?
Um, in terms of the Saturday trio, Aberdeen was the only one that was no real surprise, like you say. The only surprise was that they left it so late. What was it, 84th minute through
Yeah.
Peter Ambrose, who's
Who
barely
the
featured.
like? Who
Like
the fuck's that? That's no.
this
He's
is
a
what I
regen.
mean. Like anything, and everything's just fallen their
Yeah.
way. Again, wouldn't be surprised to see them beat blooming Rangers at Pittodrie
Yeah.
on Wednesday night. That'll be a cracker. But obviously we're occupied with beating Kilmarnock, hopefully. Um, Dundee, Simon Murray, the Ginger Fury, what a player! And then Dundee, Dundee put out the post being
Why
like,
would you do that?
exactly, like that is just the ultimate tempting fate. Um, the goals are shocking. Graham
Yeah, they're
Carey's
so
had
bad.
no idea how Trevor Carson doesn't save it. Nicky Clark stabs home from literally a few yards. I can see why Tony Docherty is incensed, but I'm of the opinion that you let the attacker have it. Don't care. So yeah, it was nice. It was great. It was really annoying because I've got the fear for the weekend now. Um, However, I'm feeling a bit more optimistic about Wednesday, seeing that Kilmarnock obviously got beat. Um, Great strike from Corey and Daba to put
Aye.
them 1-0 up. Um, Liam Donnelly's sending off is just sheer
What is he
stupidity, though.
doing? Even
Like,
if the first yellow was maybe a bit soft, right?
yeah, you don't kick the ball away on a yellow card,
Yeah, what are
which
you
which
doing?
you've literally had two examples of it down south, both with Arsenal. Like in recent times, Declan Rice against Brighton and Leandro Trossard. Whose
Who
was
was that
away?
against? Spurs?
No, was they away from home? No,
Yeah,
Man City. No,
Man City. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So just daft. Like I would say it's a shame for Kelly that they can't appeal it because it's two yellows, but
No,
it's sheer stupidity. I am pleased for Joe Wright that his red card got overturned though, because if we're given that as a red card, then the football just needs scrapped.
I haven't even
That
seen it,
oh,
so I can't opinion.
it's a total nonsense. It's never a red card in a million years. So thankfully the officials reached the correct decision. In terms of the Sunday games, completely agree with you with regards to Liam Gordon's red card. Again, just what are you doing? There's no need. The
It's
game's over
crazy.
anyway.
Yeah,
And this will rule him out for their semi against Rangers at Hampden, which is
yeah,
just, I mean, any chance that they would have possibly had against Rangers, you just feel like that's wiped out now.
yeah.
And speaking of Rangers, they
What are they
are
all about?
they are dull, aren't they? They
Aye.
really, really are. I, the more that the campaign goes on, the more frustrated I am that we didn't beat Rangers at Tynecastle now. Initially, I was walking away with positivity, but they are crap, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not good. Like I'm not looking forward to going
Oh, we'll
to
get back to the
Ibrox. Don't
Ibrox,
get me
like,
wrong,
but
but I mean we'll play them at Tynecastle again. There's absolutely no reason why we cannot win that game.
yeah.
Um, because they are rubbish. As are St Mirren, who I thought I'd underrated. Now I feel like I've overrated. No idea what's happening. See, when you've got an external factor like Sean Rooney and
Yeah.
what allegedly happened to him, or what he allegedly did and didn't do, like this just, I feel like it just lingers over. There's just
Yeah.
a feeling of like, I don't know, dismay or kind of just anger and annoyance
You really
and
feel for St Mirren because it's something that one prick's done that is completely unrelated to something that you would normally
yeah.
need to concern yourself about from a football perspective.
And the reality is, it shouldn't derail a club's season, but St Mirren haven't got a pot of gold that they could just
Yeah.
dip in willy nilly. So, yeah, he came on a free transfer, but you'd like to, or you would assume that he's one of their
Aye, he'd
higher
be on
earners.
stupid money at St Mirren, aye.
So, it's just, I don't know. To then pay him up cost them obviously a heck of a lot of money, but yeah, in terms of, I mean, it's just a mental league, isn't it? Like, see, trying to
Aye.
predict it week by week, honestly, it's crazy. I'm even looking at midweek. The only certainties for me, really, are probably Celtic to beat Dundee, obviously, and maybe Aberdeen to beat Rangers. The rest are all pretty much at the top of the
Everybody
coin.
could beat each other.
Dundee United hosting Motherwell, Hearts hosting Kelly, Ross County hosting Hibs, and St Mirren hosting St Johnstone. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, nothing would surprise you at all within
yeah.
that other quartet.
Well, I was going to say we then come to our game. Our game was actually first on the Sunday in
I
front of the
think
big TV cameras.
I think the Celtic fans were very frustrated at having the Edinburgh Derby on first, not just because obviously they're not the centre of attention for an hour and a half, but because it was not a spectacle for the neutral at all.
Who
It
gives a
was,
fuck?
it was a tough watch, and I'm saying that as a
But
Hearts
every
fan.
Edinburgh Derby is. I
Of
don't give
course
a
it
shit.
is.
I am
Of
one of
course it
those
is.
people that I'm like, I couldn't give a fuck about how it makes
Yeah.
our game look and stuff like that. Okay. Oh no, somebody in Cheshire's going, this is shite. They'd say that about everything. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Oh, it's the type that would say that their nan could score 40 in the Scottish
Yeah.
Premiership anyway.
And then
But
Dwight Gale comes up and is absolutely fucking shit. So
I
it's fine.
my frustration is more like lower league Scottish fans that are like the Edinburgh Derby shit. And it's like, well,
All right.
you support, I don't know,
Let's watch Annan
Airdrie.
v Clyde then and
Yeah,
see the
exactly.
quality on show there.
Exactly. Like this is regardless, this is one of the country's biggest games. Yeah, it's maybe not always the best spectacle on the park, but off it there was some
Yeah,
great action. So I mean, fill your boots. It's entertainment after all.
exactly. Neil Critchley made a bunch of changes once again. As we say,
As
Benny
expected.
Beningame was ill. So Benny Beningame
Oh,
had to miss the game, and it was,
breaks my heart. I miss my Congolese king in there. I just feel so much safer when he's around.
yeah, it
He's
was
like
really obvious that he
it's
wasn't
like
there.
having your own security guard.
Yeah.
He's just
So,
what
Benny
a
will
man.
sort that. It's all right.
Yeah.
He'll deal with it. It's fine. So, Craig Gordon kept his place in goals. The fullbacks changed again as Forrester and Kingsley dropped out for Oyegoku and Penrice. Then,
Hallelujah.
yep, he's back. The God is back. Big Luke. And Yandanda came in for Alan Forrest, who maybe felt a bit aggrieved considering his performance. And then when he watched Yandanda play, he's probably sat there going, why am I getting dropped for this guy?
And when he also heard Ian Crocker inadvertently refer to him as James during commentary,
See,
which
I
isn't
was
the first time that's
watching
happened.
I was watching the Hearts TV version of it. So
Yeah, I wish
I
I'd have
missed
done that.
this.
I
But
should have done that.
I was regularly updated with why is he continually calling him James Forrest?
It's pretty
So
funny. I do feel for Alan in that respect.
when you saw the team, what were you thinking and was your main attention point Luke Penrice?
It always is.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with him. Yeah, the fullbacks. I mean, that's your first choice back four at the minute. Gordon
Yep.
in goal, vastly
Oh,
experienced.
we didn't
You know,
mention how class Kai Rolls was. I didn't see him, but everyone is
against
like, he was,
Nicosia.
yeah, it was like, he was
Yeah, he was
fucking
very good.
amazing.
He was
Get it
very good.
up, everybody. We have stuck by this man. Me more than
I was
you.
going to say you more than
Like,
me.
yeah.
I'm bipolar behavior with Kairos.
He
That
is
that was
so
very much
clearly
that
our
was a
best left-sided
Maldini as
centre
opposed
half.
to Nutini.
Yeah.
That was yeah. That
He's good.
he was very good.
He's a good player when he has confidence.
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree. And if he
fucking
showed it on a more
jazzed.
consistent basis, he probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, back four, happy with. Um, I did feel for Alan Forrest a wee bit, but I like Jan Danda, so
Yeah, but before the game,
I'm
you're
happy with
going,
Jan
it's
Danda
Yan
for you.
Danda, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you
yeah,
watch the game and you're like, oh, it didn't make sense, actually.
yeah. Oh, he was bad.
Yeah.
Malachi Boateng, I really like as well.
Yeah.
Cammy Devlin again. If Benny can't play, had to be Devlin. And Shankland and the wee man up front. Yeah, it was the life looked all right. I felt quietly confident. I I say that I hate the Edinburgh Derby.
Same.
I hate the build up
Same.
because I'm often veering from we're gonna smash them. They're absolutely fucking god awful. We will win this game. To oh my god, all it takes is some ridiculous worldie or a deflection or some shitty goal that we inevitably lose. Like the range of emotion and what goes on in my head till the game kicks off is crazy. Then once it's over and only if we haven't got beat, I go, thank God that's finished. Don't have to worry about it until December, so that's fine. But yeah, I think I was like most probably quietly confident. My annoyance was I saw a lot of, how am I best putting this? Degenerate gamblers that were tipping Hearts and couldn't get over the price that Hearts were at Easter Road. They obviously hadn't looked at the fact that we were the only away team in the Scottish Premiership yet to pick up a point.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, we might have won at Easter Road then, but on the road have been some absolute shockers so far this season. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I I sort of tipped Hearts after the midweek win, but very early on it became apparent that if we were going to win, it would be more so as to how poor Hibs were and not us being any good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's absolutely fair. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to, in the Ammonia game, we like went through each highlight and kind of spoke about stuff. We're just going to be speaking about the big moments from this game because, as we said, the game wasn't that. Nobody wants to hear about Shanklin kind of trying to work out a chance for himself and then firing well over the butt. That we didn't need analysis on that. Everybody knows the big
In
moments.
fairness, we didn't have that many chances.
No, we didn't.
We didn't carve out that much. That's probably the overriding feeling that I've got with this game is, yes, we had a large chunk of the ball, but we've spoken for ages on this podcast saying we want possession with a purpose. Like, I don't know if Hibs were that dogged and that fearful of losing a goal to us that they then just went kind of six at the back, really. The back four, the two, your Quans, Triantis, both ahead of them to just go try and come through us if you can. I don't know. Hibs were just happy to let Frankie Kent and Kai Rolls have the ball. It seemed like Kent gave it back to Rolls, who maybe gave it to Malachi Boateng for a wee touch. Cammy Devlin might get involved. Before you know it, it's back at Frankie Kent again, or Kai Rolls.
Kai
again.
Rolls had 107 touches
because he's getting really bored. Like those four, five if you include CG, touched the ball I think more than anybody else. So that pretty much tells the story. It was very not kind of labored. Like it was uninspiring, but that's on us. It's on us to try and carve out opportunities, and we're looking to the likes of Yandanda, Blair Spittle that were unable to do so. So that it was disappointing, but it was a strange game. I mean, the only chance that I can think of first half was Lauren Shankland having a pop when he's supported by I think Vargas and maybe Danda on the left-hand side. And he opts to go it alone, which again I don't mind because there was nothing else on.
Yeah,
and this goalkeeper, like the boy Bursick is dodgy. That was my one annoyance. That Hearts went testing him early doors because confidence is obviously fragile after the Dundee United defeat. He's basically at fault for the winner. So I'm thinking, let's pepper this guy early on, try and get some shots away, see what he's made of. But we didn't really do that.
You've kind of perfectly summed up the first half, which is really helpful because fuck all happened in it. But yeah, the only two chances really that happened were Shanklin breaks forward after a loose touch from Triantis, hits an effort from the edge of the box, but it's close to the keeper and punched away. And then Hibs should score. Junior Hoylett swings in a free kick, which is met on the head by Dwight Gale, the man who John Shelby I served and bought 3 Big Macs for, and he looked like he'd been still eating them because, oh my God.
I think he took our advice last week and had the 3 Big Macs
exactly.
his pre-match.
He just didn't, I mean, clearly he wasn't on it, right? We'll just say that. As he wins a complete free header on the penalty spot, but it is right at Craig Gordon. It's still a good reaction save because the ball slightly turns in the air, so Gordon just manages to get a wrist on it. But he has the whole goal to choose from.
Yeah, he's got to score.
And misses. Now, as I say, we will get into further chances that Hibs should definitely score in the second half. But, as you say, the first half, the stat I think from that game, Kai Rolls had 107 touches, and of those 107 touches, 102 of them were passes. So all he was doing was just one-touch passes to people near him. Critchley's era so far has been defined by possession with purpose, whereas this game was kind of like a hark back to Naismith.
And pressing, I'd argue as well.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
a hunger to win the ball back, a tenacity, an aggression. I It just looked like midweek had got the better of us, really.
Yes, we looked
And
tired.
this is nothing new. This is what hopefully we can get to the end of, because this has been happening for a few seasons now, where we've picked up a result on the Thursday, had to travel. In this case, we obviously haven't, but that's taken its toll for then the Sunday performance. And this was very much a case of leggy, tired, unable to. I don't know, like I was gonna say, I was gonna say unable to move, but genuinely, it was like it honestly looked like they were running through quicksand. It was
Yeah.
just it just wasn't. Nothing was happening for us in the final third, which is a big disappointment given Hibs were really poor. The goals that
Yeah.
they lost, obviously at Tannadice, like I say. So I honestly thought that the best player on the park in that first half was Marvin Ekpiteta, because whenever Kenneth
Yep.
Vargas got the ball, he was right on top of him, barely gave him a sniff. There was a couple chances where Hearts would, after everybody gets a touch on the ball at the back, they would go that little bit longer to Vargas and he'd try and pick up on the left hand side. But Ekpiteta each and every time was just bang straight through the back of him. That barely allowed him any time to control it. And I thought he bullied wee Vargas, to be honest, who I'm a big fan of. But I was really impressed with Marvin Ekpiteta, actually.
It's really annoying now when they've gone from Will Fish and Rocky Bashir to Egg Potato. You're like, oh,
I
that's
know.
actually an
And
upgrade.
Paul Hanlon, I know.
Aye.
But that's what gives me encouragement, because as we alluded to in last week's quiz, Marvin Ekpiteta did work under Neil Critchley at Blackpool. So
True. Very
in
true.
every cloud.
Very, very true. As we say, we start the second half where stuff started to actually happen. And Hibs should score right at the start of the second half. And it's that guy again, Dwight Gale. Martin Boyle crosses the ball in. It's met by Dwight
Rat.
Gale. It's another fucking free header. It's another one that just he could pick anywhere in the goal he wants to,
Oh.
and it's in. But thankfully for us, it is right at Craig Gordon again. He then get about 5 minutes later, he got brought off. I couldn't believe how bad he was. Because the whole thing, listen, we grew up watching Dwight Gale's entire career and having them in FIFAs and FM and stuff. And the thing that everybody knew about Dwight Gale was he was fast as fuck. That was Dwight Gale's thing. Because of his age, I was like, okay, he won't be fast anymore, but he'll still have it. Like that ability that he's got. But he just looked like he'd just come up here and just been like, nah, I'm just going to kind of chill for a bit. Like, it's fine. What has happened to him? I know this means on Boxing Day he's going to get a hat trick, right? But right
When he
now,
does, it's entirely your fault.
yeah,
To be fair, I remember Hearts played Stoke. Was it Gary Locke's testimonial match?
yeah,
They
the
played
other
for the
year,
excuse. Yeah.
yeah,
And I thought even then Dwight Gale was poor, like
yeah,
really bad. And then he had his spell at Derby, nicked one or two then. But I agree with you. Like it must have had something to obviously, because even if you're a speedboat with no driver, you'll get found out
yeah.
at the
I liked
elite
him.
level.
I liked him at Newcastle because obviously Newcastle, my English team. I liked
Yeah.
Gale. He worked well in the system. He was playing. He was playing at a time where in the championship and stuff like that, and it wasn't going very well. But you could tell there was ability there, especially because Rafa was playing them in a system where like every single team that Newcastle played that season put 11 men behind the ball. A Gale plays on the shoulder. So it was like,
Yeah.
shit, why have we got Dwight Gale? What's the point in this? But then you could see, oh no, we can actually just unlock defences and do stuff. So that's what worried me. And then he just didn't do any of it.
What I'd counter to that is I actually thought Hibs' most menacing player from an offensive perspective was Junior Hoylett. And again,
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
he was
Somebody who was
again,
a fucking fast as fuck for his entire career.
I thought he's obviously lost the legs, but again, like had that little bit of guile, or just I don't know. I actually thought it was a decent selection from Hibs and David Gray.
Very
I
attacking.
felt like it was very attacking. He was going for it, and he'd alluded to that in kind of his pre-match comments, saying that he's chosen boys that are experienced, that have played in big games, played in derbies and whatever. Yeah, but it just wasn't happening for Dwight Gale for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Missed a couple
By
big
the way,
chances.
will say apologies to anybody who's over the age of 35 who's like, how do these get, what the fuck are they talking about? Ultimate team, that's what we're on about, basically. Just having Dwight Gale and Junior Hoylett as fast as fuck, guys.
But I honestly thought if Hibs are going to get something, it'll be down to Junior Hoylett probably. Or I wasn't overly worried with Martin Boyle, who I think's just lost it. Ellie Yuan is a player that obviously they've criticised pretty
I
much
really like you. I
all
think Johan's
season.
good, but he just isn't getting a sniff.
So do I, but his situation's so weird. He obviously wants away,
Yeah.
so hopefully the Boyle will get his move because
Aye.
imagine pulling that on each and every week. That jersey, no thanks.
Well, the deadlock was then broken because Cammy
Through,
Devlin,
through Dwight Gale's
yeah,
replacement.
yeah, Cammy Devlin just gives away the stupidest, most
Needless.
needless
Totally
foul
needless.
ever on Boyle. Boyle's going nowhere. Devlin puts two hands on him. Then, as Boyle gets past him, he leans back into him. So Boyle is obviously going to go down. At that point,
Hate Martin Boyle.
we
Such a
then
passion.
we then line up and listen. We've spoken exhaustion about our thoughts about zonal marking on this podcast. But this isn't even an issue with zonal marking because this didn't even, there was fucking no zones being marked apart from
No.
the 6 yard line where we had six players in a line just standing still.
We'd had the warnings with Dwight Gale and
Every
whoever else.
set
I
piece, they
think
looked like
Stuart
they were going to score.
100%. I think Stuart Lovell even referenced it in the first half commentary. Basically said, I can't remember the instance, but he said something like, "It's a free header that'll worry Neil Critchley." And then from there on in, it was like Hibs. I wouldn't say they were playing for set pieces, but they tried to make something happen
They
from a
knew it
dead
was their
ball situation.
strength.
Yeah, I think so. But bizarrely, I think we're the team that have scored the most from set pieces
Yeah,
in the
it's
league this
crazy.
season, which is weird. But Hibs obviously make this one count, and again, it's through Junior Hoylett, who I referenced. I don't know. It was strange. Like Hibs, Hibs obviously have this kind of 2010s Barclays Premier League dream team, but
Yeah.
it's like it honestly was just like the pace had gone and they were playing for dead balls and just hoping that something would bounce for them. So why we feel it necessary to concede a free kick, albeit it's over on one of the flanks, but it's in a dangerous position in terms
Yep.
of the final third is really annoying. And the fact that we obviously don't deal with the ball is
Yeah.
even more frustrating.
It's crossed in. It is met by Miller, who was fucking awful all
That
game.
header is appalling as well.
Yeah,
If
it's
that's
such
him,
a bad thing.
it's genuinely like he's gone for goal and he's 50 pence headed
Yeah.
it back over to Ekpateta on the far side. That's what makes it all the more annoying.
Listen, don't worry, because thankfully Miller stayed in the park, so it's fine. Because everything ended up
He is
right.
pish.
Natty Atkinson's keeping him at the fucking national team,
Yeah,
right?
that
That's when you
speaks
care it's bad.
volumes.
It's flicked back across, however, by the man that you liked, Ekpateta. Gordon manages to push
I
it
wouldn't say
on.
liked. I thought I was impressed by him,
Impressed,
but he does play
yeah.
for Hibs.
Impressed
I've
is
never
a
liked
better
him.
word. It is pushed up the bar by Gordon, but as a result, it kind of pushes every single Hearts defender one step back because it then comes back down off the bar. George Grant's just standing at the back post.
Don't even talk to me about him either. Sick of that guy.
And Kukarevich, who came off the bench, bundles it in a la James Wilson last week against St Mirren, kinda, to get his first goal against Hearts. It's 1-0 Hibs. And I was just spewing. I was so angry.
So was I. It's when you see their fans, like, obviously they're ultras behind the goal who are just pathetic. And then it pans to these JKs that are literally like up on the barriers and giving it all sorts, and you just want the ground to swallow you up. It's honestly, it's gut wrenching.
It's also, though, from a
I
tactical
hate them
perspective,
so
it's
much.
3 balls that we've not reacted first to.
I don't get annoyed by Hibs like during
By the
season.
club.
It's only then when you play them and
Yeah.
like you have their numpty fans that pipe up on Twitter, and then you just see some of them. You see that section that obviously has the bother, and Luke Penrice gets struck by the coins
Thank you.
needlessly. It's like, they're disgusting. They really are just a horrible, horrible people.
Yep.
And to see them so joyful, it makes my stomach churn.
Well, don't worry, because that's the end of the joy. Hearts almost get, well, this kind of had some joy for Hibs. Hearts
Oh
almost
my
get an
God.
immediate response.
This should have been joy. This should have been me knee sliding. This
Yep.
was oh God.
Blair
It's what I
Spittle,
referenced earlier.
Blair Spittle and Adam's favourite person, George Grant, combine
This is
very
the
well.
I'll give him credit here. He does really well here. Can't do any more here, George Grant.
Combine well to find Shankland on the
Oh,
penalty spot, who flashes a shot. I'll be honest, I thought it was in and jumped up in my
so
living
did
room.
I.
I fully just went for it, but no, it's wide of the post. It doesn't even hit the target. It's wide of the post. We're speaking about, I agree with you. One of my major
I think he
annoyances,
thinks it's in.
yeah, one of my major annoyances was the fact that they have one of the worst Hibs goalkeepers we've ever seen in our lives, and we barely put him under any pressure.
No.
And the fucking one time we did, we ended up scoring from it. So it was like, for the love of God, why haven't we been doing this more?
I, I can't believe he doesn't score.
It's
Like,
crazy.
if you'd sat down an alien and said to the alien, "This player has scored 60 goals near enough in 2 seasons," they would think that you're the one that was living in outer space. I mean,
Yeah.
how does he miss?
I don't
How
know.
in God's
How does he
name
not
did he
even hit the
miss?
target? It's crazy.
He's got to work the goalkeeper at a very minimum. It's
It's
like I then thought, this is it. We've lost to these bastards.
yeah,
Honestly, I
yeah. At
thought
that point, I was
I thought
like,
that's the opportunity. That's it.
yeah.
It's done. I'm thinking if we
Well,
can't, if he of all people cannot score that chance
yeah.
from that close range against this god awful goalkeeper, it's not happening for us
Nobody
today.
is. Yeah,
No,
exactly. Well, then two very big important things happened. One of them is that a
it's really
17 year
funny.
old. One of them is that a 17-year-old comes onto the pitch.
That
James
was
Wilson
nice.
makes his second substitute appearance in as many domestic games. I think it's a very much a line in the sand now that Critchley is turned into Wilson rather than Boyce,
Yeah,
which I
it's a
can
shame.
understand from
It's a real
Critchley. It
shame.
is a real shame, but I can understand from Critchley's perspective why he does it, because you get more leeway with a
Yeah.
17-year-old academy graduate who has a lot of potential.
The changes were bold. He basically abandoned
Oh,
an entire midfield, stuck a 17-year-old
crazy.
on, and just went, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, we're going all out here, which I I was totally on board with. Like, of course he is. We're 1-0 down in a derby. What is the point in bringing on like for likes?
Yeah, I
We've got to
agree.
go for it because we know that the Hearts fans. I'm not going to say that if we'd have lost to Hibs, it would have effectively cancelled out the previous two performances. I'd like to think that we'd have a stage where
Yeah,
we can appreciate that those back-to-back games at Tynecastle were fantastic. 2 clean sheets, 2 wins, 6 goals. Perfect, the ideal start. But he then basically went, I'm all in here. This
yeah,
this was
which
this
is
was
very
Tony
refreshing.
Bloom-esque at the
Yeah,
casino. This was every single chip. Just let's go all out, make things happen, cause a bit of chaos, and put these bastards under pressure. And lo and behold, thankfully, it worked in the end.
but it nearly fucking didn't he? Because Hibs should seal the win in the 82nd
It
minute.
really shouldn't have. That was hilarious. Like it wasn't at the time, but looking
No,
back, it's really funny.
they swing a ball in. It is taken down exceptionally by centre half playing centre mid Nectar Triantis.
The first touch is perfect.
He does so well on the penalty spot. Everybody's like, he must be offside, but he's not. You see that he's actually timed his run perfectly.
Oh my God, no.
But again, and listen, I love CG. I want to give CG as much praise as I possibly can. But for all of these, he just has to stand still. It's crazy.
100%. Like this was honestly, I thought conceding once to this Hibs team is bad enough.
Yeah.
A second to this donkey in midfield, I'm not interested.
So, at this point, you're thinking, right, the 85th minute, we're playing like a 4-2-4 on steroids at this point because the two
And
sitters,
Barry
yeah, the two sitters are both number 8s. Barry Mackay's there, which is always a disadvantage. But
couldn't have told you that.
nah. However, big Luke Penrice gets a throw in and goes, I'm going for this. I'm Robbie Nielsen, 20 years younger. It's
I love
fine.
the fact that it's not even on his flag. He just thinks it's
No,
the
he's
left,
just
and
like, I'm
I'm just
fucking doing
warping
this.
over to the right. Like
Yep.
fuck this. Get it
Forrester,
up the
fuck
wall.
off. I'm doing it. Throws a long ball into the box. It is flicked on by little Alan Forrest, who just goes out. Listen,
I don't even think he knows that he flicks it on.
nah.
He's in there. He's in the vicinity, just trying to make something happen.
At this point, we should probably mention, good God, Yandanda had a very poor game and retrospectively
He was
shouldn't
poor.
have been dropped for Alan
He and
Forrest.
Spittle were both very
Yeah.
poor.
Spittle at least looked like he still wanted to constantly be involved, though.
Yeah, but like it was his poorest performance for Hearts when he's actually played in his correct position by
Yeah.
a country mile.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's flicked on by Alan Forrest, which is then flicked on by the guy who should score a few minutes earlier, Nectar Triantis, off his shoulder. And Miller is standing thinking, I don't need to move. I'm just going to clear this. It's absolutely
So
fine.
bad.
Because that's how defending works. You don't need to actually move. The ball just come to you. But 17-year-old, die-hard Hearts fan, James Wilson, gets the wrong side of him, sweeps it in off the post. And listen, yes, you've heard this 100 times in the 48 hours since the goal, but of course we have to mention it. Doesn't even really celebrate. Just goes, give me that ball because I'm going to do it again. Let's go and get a winner. I went ballistic. I can't believe he didn't. He has so much more conviction than me because I'd be top off running fucking laps
100%.
around. Like
I'd be going over to the little Ned section and giving it all sorts.
A testament to his character. Testament. It's very clearly a guy who a year ago, as a 16-year-old, turned down Aston Villa to be like, no, I want to get first team football at Hearts to actually build my career. And just that's 2-2 domestically. They're probably not how we thought they were going to happen. They're both quite like,
not.
Yeah, like just kind of like right place, right time. But if you listen to his post-match interview, I think he's being very harsh on himself. He just says...
He even alluded to that, didn't he? He said he hoped that it would have been a screamer, a 20-yard screamer. It's been anything but.
But he just kind of says, oh, I just gambled and got lucky. It's like, no, you didn't. You got the right side and took it's on the half volley and placed it into the corner. It's a fantastic finish.
Honestly, McIver, it would bring a tear to a glass eye, the whole moment. Like, it's... again, I said about his first goal at Tynecastle must be an unbelievable feeling. I mean, what a week for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The equaliser in an Edinburgh derby at Easter Road. I'm going to assume that his relatives were there, probably in the Dunbar
in front of the Dunbar end. Yeah, exactly. Not even at the other end. Like,
and do you know what? Like, it was him rushing for the ball. I just thought, oh my God, like that, the mentality, like, inject that into my veins. That is honestly what I was after. Because everybody else, other players, celebrated more than he does.
Shankland and Kent are like, celebrate! Come on, let's celebrate!
I know, it's like, no, sod that. Like, we've got time here.
It's exactly what John Robertson said in that clip on the warm-up thing, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, you're right, sorry.
Where it is that mentality where it's like, Hearts think we will always win this. It doesn't matter what time it is, we will be able to get someone. And Hibs fans think we're not winning this game. Yeah. And that's a 17-year-old encapsulating it. Yeah.
He and John Collins were both pretty good actually on the warm up. It was a good watch, but oh man, I did go Tonto because I like I say, I thought the Shanklin chance was the one. I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking the same way that Robbo was, but that goes to show why he's had the successful career in football that I have and that he has, and I obviously run this podcast. But yeah,
hey,
I formed this podcast.
No, I meant that's equal success. Fuck your Derby goals, Robbo. Have you run a podcast? No.
Yeah, James Wilson will catch you in a couple of years, Robbo.
Exactly.
You should be sweating.
Come on.
Yeah, great moment. And it, honestly, the only gripe that I've got is that it didn't come that teensy-weensy bit earlier.
If we play that game for another 2 minutes, we win that game.
I think so as well, mate. I really do.
So,
Because they were rattled, they were
yeah,
rocked.
they were. We go for a chat. We have the last chance of the game is Kent has a header that just goes past the post. But,
Oh, even the one that James Penrice drives into the box and then it
yeah,
comes to the back stick. I was stood up, just going, come on,
yeah.
it's coming, but
I
didn't
think
quite
it
happen.
says a lot that, from what I understand and what I've kind of seen and spoken to people in the 24 hours after as we record here, is that the Hearts sentiment is disappointing, but you take it considering the circumstances.
I think we even spoke about that last week, didn't we? Where it was like, because we're playing in midweek, a draw's not a disaster. And you basically said it as well. You said it depends on the circumstance. If we go 1-0 up and they
Mm-hmm.
peg us back, it's more of an annoyance than if they take the lead and then we respond. So I think I'm really pleased probably with, again, application, the character, that kind of relentless nature where we're not giving in. We've not thrown in the towel just yet, and we kept plugging away till the end because, listen, I mean the fans behind the goal. Oh my God, absolute Lindsay Lohan. It
Yeah,
looked incredible behind the goal. Um, so yeah, that was for them, and the fact that it's one of our own that's popped up and got that goal was lovely. Even post match, I watched Aaron Fraser's vlog, and the squad kind of giving him that moment,
yeah.
basically
Penrice
take the
like pushes them
adulation
forward.
of the
Yeah,
fans. I love that. That's
yeah,
what it's all about for the kids. So yeah, it was really nice. A lovely moment for him, and I'm
yeah.
sure that his folks and grandparents and whoever else will be unbelievably proud of him.
Definitely. And it sets us up for this upcoming doubleheader. Neil Critchley's Hearts continue to remain unbeaten, but are now about to go into a doubleheader of Kilmarnock at home on Wednesday night and then St Johnstone away at the weekend. Now, both teams play in blue and white. We're normally quite bad against both these teams at both these venues
I was going to say, yeah,
because Killie, the only place they like playing more than Rugby Park is Tynecastle. The record at Tynecastle is ridiculous over the last few years.
really
And
annoying.
we've won 3 times in the last 11 years in Perth. So why am I weirdly optimistic about winning both games?
Christ,
I'm
there's a
more
first there's a
optimistic.
first time for everything for this
I know.
podcast.
I'm more optimistic about Wednesday night than I am at the weekend.
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
However, I'm not overly convinced about Wednesday night, if I'm
Yeah, that's
honest.
true. That's fair.
Because as you say, even last season, I think we played Killie what 5 times in all competitions, and our only 2 wins came at Rugby Park. We drew with them twice at Tynecastle,
Can't remember.
and the other, I think, was it 1-0 and 1-1. I'm pretty sure was
Maybe.
both our draws at Tynecastle. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a one each draw again. I think if we are going to win, it'll be 1-0 or 2-1 by the odd goal. Um, and then St Johnstone, man. We need St Mirren to do us a favour.
Aye.
And when was the last time that ever happened?
Yeah.
Which is the fear on Wednesday. So, oh yeah, yeah. I'd be I'd be ecstatic with 6 points. I'd be pleased with 4, and I was going to say happy enough with 3. Not really. Anything under 4, I'm not going to be happy with, to
Yeah,
be
that's
honest.
fair. Right. Official score predictions for both games.
One each Wednesday night with Kelly, and oh, record in Perth recently is not too bad, but again, it depends on if St Johnstone win in midweek. 1-0 Hearts.
Clean sheet in Perth. Fucking hell. I'm going to go 2-1 on Wednesday night to Hearts and then 2 each in Perth. I think it's going to be a good
Oh
game, but
God,
we're not going to win.
we concede 2 goals to the St Johnstone team.
Hey,
Jeez.
this St Johnstone team are scoring hundreds of goals.
To be fair, I like Kimpioka and Sidibe.
Yeah.
Even
And
Mickey
Mackenzie
Clark
Kirk.
obviously popped in.
Mackenzie
Yeah, Mackenzie
Kirk.
Kirk. Yeah.
It's destined to happen.
That's written in the stars over
Yeah.
here. Yeah, we're getting beat off St Johnstone, aren't we?
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see. But before we finish, as ever, we have the quiz.
Yeah, listen,
You don't
let's
seem
beat Kelly.
buzzing.
Well, no, I'm actually just thinking about that there because I've said that I'm not going to be happy with the points total, but I really hope we beat Kelly on Wednesday night, and then I can just take whatever happens
Then
at the
whatever
weekend.
happens, kind of thing. Yeah, that's fair. Right, the quiz, as ever, we've got a true or false, a multiple choice, and two normal questions. We start with a normal question,
Oh God,
and it's annoying. What was the score the last time Kilmarnock came to Tynecastle?
I want to draw.
And he's smashed it. He's 1 for 1. Well done. Right.
Vargas and Watkins, no?
Yeah, the Watkins scored a fucking
Yeah, that
raker.
was a worldie.
Yeah,
That was an absolute worldie.
it's very annoying. So you're 1 for 1. Well done.
Thanks.
True or false? The 2-0 result against Ammonia Nicosia was the first time in the last 10 years that Hearts have scored two and kept a clean sheet in a European game.
Ooh. In 10 years.
In the last 10 years.
See, the only other convincing one that I can think of, off the top of my head, random I know, is the win over, was it Pakshi,
Yeah.
Hungarian team? I think we beat them 4-0 at Tynecastle, is that right? But obviously that's that's before a decade.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that that's true because there's no other games coming to my head.
So the correct answer
Oh, it's
is
false.
false because Alan Forrest scored a raker on Thursday night against Ammonia Nicosia. He didn't score a raker in this game, but he did score as Hearts beat Riga 2-0 2 seasons ago at Tynecastle. Lawrence Shanklin scored
Oh,
to
that's
open the
annoying.
scoring.
That was
It's
the night
happened
Andy
very
Halliday was
recently.
number 10, was it not?
Yes, it
Yes.
was indeed.
Why did I think we'd conceded? Oh, that's really
Because
annoying.
we did in Riga.
I thought we did them 2-1 at both games.
Nope,
Oh,
2-0.
that's really annoying.
It was so recent, I was like, he's either going to immediately get it or have forgotten about it because I'm going to add in
I'll
the
be
10
honest,
years.
that I had forgotten about, but I
Yeah,
was convinced.
I'd forgotten about it as well. I also thought we'd won 2-1.
So that's the only time that we've
In the
done
last 10 years, I've done it.
Jesus.
Because
Probably since that patch game, no?
we just kept getting beat off Spurs and Liverpool and all that kind of
And even struggling past like Rosenborg and
yeah.
whoever we've conceded.
Yeah, we very
really
rarely
annoying.
keep clean sheets. So, question number 3. When was the last time, in terms of the year, Hearts won back-to-back European games?
Jesus, this is a general question. You said to me before we came on here, I think you're going to do well in this quiz.
Well,
fucking hell.
I was going to give you 2 multiple choice questions, and this was one of them, but then you just basically got one of the points in the questions by 10
question.
seconds previously. So,
thanks, mate.
If you need it, there is choices for this as well. But then you're a coward. So
Thanks very much.
You're welcome to the choices if you want them.
Oh, back to back. The Riga games didn't come back to back, did they? I don't think. Why am I now thinking all about Riga? Oh. I've got no idea.
Right, I'll give you the years. 1988.
This is cowardice, though. Go on.
1989. 1990 or 1991. Can I just say, if this is wrong, blame Jamie on Hearts Twitter, Daft Jim, because I was sent this stat, and I don't know if it's true.
Jim's fault.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 1989.
Oh, he's a year off. 1990.
Oh, okay.
We beat Dnipro and Bologna.
Not bad. That's all right.
So it's no terrible. Right, your actual multiple choice.
Back-to-back European games in 34 years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Again, if that's wrong, it's not my fault. So, question
I'm
4.
gonna get a steward's inquiry on that. I need a
Yep.
wee VAR check.
Yeah, exactly. Question 4. And this is your
This is
multiple
a.
choice one.
Can I just say, this is a stinker, an absolute stink. This is even harder than usual.
I think, welcome to my life every 2 weeks, all right? Actual multiple choice. James Wilson got his first Edinburgh Derby goal on Sunday.
Oh no.
He was born 3 weeks before an Edinburgh Derby in 2007, where Hearts
Oh
won
my
1-0.
God.
But who scored the
With
only
the
goal?
winning goal. Oh Jesus.
Was it A, Marius Zaliukas? Was it B, Christian Nadi? Was it C, Callum Elliott? Or was it D, David Obua?
Was this the League Cup derby where Marius Zaliukas scored the winner at Easter Road?
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna go with Zal.
After the game, John Collins went to parade the League Cup. However, there was a
Yes.
40-minute stoppage as Hearts fans
Wow.
took their shoes off after Marius Zaliukas headed in the winner in the 80th minute to win 1-0 at Easter Road.
What a
So
guy.
James Wilson was born 3 weeks before that game.
Jesus wept, I feel old.
Yep, I remember that game.
God. Yikes.
So you got 2 out of 4.
Let's move on to the next question because that is really depressing.
Yeah, you got 2 out of 4. Take that.
Given the circumstances, a bit like the weekend. Given the circumstances, it's not too bad a result.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is a who am I that I think if you get a quest, if you know a clue, you could get it without questions.
Oh.
Whereas if you don't, it might be hard. So we'll see.
So it's either doable or nowhere near doable, and it's a total stab in the dark.
I think it's either
like each and every who am I that I've ever done.
I think it's either immediately gettable or you'll never get it. So we'll see.
Brilliant. I'll no doubt be the latter.
Right. Are you ready?
Hit me with it.
I have technically won the Scottish Cup 3 times, but was an unused substitute in all 3 games. I made my debut for Hearts when a club legend was sent off. I played in a game that fans often look back at with regret, as it resulted in a popular figure being removed from the dugout. And towards the end of my time at Hearts, a statement was released on the club website saying I could no longer be trusted to play, and that I would never play again for the club, which was the case, and I left at the end of that season. Who am I?
Oh, I've technically won the Scottish Cup 3 times.
But I was an unused. So that's that thing
So
where
in all 3 finals.
In all 3 finals, he was on the winning side, but he never came on. But he got a medal because he was an unused sub.
He did win the Scottish Cup.
So I agree with that, but some folk go, no, they were unused subs, so they shouldn't be allowed to. But fuck that. You were an unused sub. You won the cup.
100% they've won the cup.
Yeah. So then let's change the question. I have won the Scottish Cup 3 times, but was an unused substitute in all 3 games.
See, I was thinking somebody like out the longevity, like Neil McCann, but it can't be because he obviously played in the 98 final. Oh my God. What a horrendous question. Oh, Jesus. Can you give me the clues again, please, McCann?
Yeah. I have won the Scottish Cup 3 times, but was an unused substitute in all 3 games. I made my debut for Hearts, replacing a club legend who was sent off. I played in a game that fans often look back at with regret, as it resulted in a popular figure being removed from the dugout. And towards the end of my time at Hearts, a statement was released on the website saying I could no longer be trusted and would never play again for the club, which was the case, and I left at the end of that season.
See, the fact he's come on for somebody that has been sent off tells me that it's got to be a centre half, surely. Do I just ask for the playing position first? I think I do. What position did this man play, Daniel McIver?
This man was a goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. Things, Crivens, help my Bob. Oh! No.
God, that was a flash of hope
Uh,
there.
hmm. I'm thinking somebody like Steve Banks. Now,
Okay.
technically won the cup. Who would have been? Because did Steve Banks not sign for Dundee United as well around the time they? When did they win it? They won it in 2010. Oh, yo, 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 yo. A goalkeeper, man. This is what I mean. When am I ever giving you a goalkeeper? What
I
is
like
this?
goalies. I would get it if it
Yeah,
was a
you're the
goalie.
you're the creep that likes them, not me.
You give me
Oh,
Fitzroy Simpson. Fuck you.
true. For every Fitzroy Simpson, there's a bloody Paul Ritchie or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Oh, yoy. Who's that bloke that played once, the right back? Costa.
Oh,
Something Costa.
aye. Whatever the fuck his name was.
Who?
I've just seen a fact on this guy's Wikipedia that absolutely should have been included in my clues. That is so cool. But I can tell you after this.
Oh, okay. Um, oh, see, I don't want to ask if they won it because they can't have won it with Hearts, given the gaps in. Hmm. Yeah, can I ask who was their other Scottish Cup triumph with?
Um, Wait, what? So you want? So are you then? Is that you assuming that he didn't win the cup at Hearts, or are you assuming he did and want to know the others?
I'm assuming that he did and want to know the others, but now that I've overcomplicated this, can I get the list of clubs that he played for and when?
Yes, you can.
This is
West
very
Ham,
confusing.
Gillingham, Blackpool, Bolton, Rochdale,
Jesus.
Bradford, Stoke, Stoke permanently, Wimbledon, Gillingham, Heart of Midlothian, Dundee United,
Oh,
and St
yes.
Johnstone.
Oh, it's got to be. I'm going Steve Banks.
It's Steve Banks, correct.
Yay!
That was the clue. I was like, if you know that Steve Banks, because it's an unused substitute, why would a goalie ever get subbed on?
Yeah, that was so weird. So I'm assuming he replaced CG, no?
CG got sent off against Falkirk, and Banks got subbed on.
So who the hell was the man in the dugout? Was it JJ? No.
It was George Burley, as Banks was in goals at Celtic Park when we drew
No
1-1,
way.
and it
I could not have
eventually
told you
cost.
that.
Yep.
Jesus.
And he was like
Wow.
outstanding in the game to keep us in it.
I honestly could not have told you that.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So, yeah, here's the little kind of paragraph about that final clue.
That
So,
quiz is ending up all right, actually.
yeah,
45,
you've done well.
60%. That's all right.
On the 16th of August 2008, Banks was omitted from the Hearts squad to face Rangers at Ibrox, with Jim McDonald selected to start and recent signing Marion Kello on the bench.
Wow.
Hearts lost the game 2-0. Afterwards, owner Vladimir Romanov told the Hearts players that Banks could no longer be trusted, comparing him to former captain and players Stephen Presley, Andy Webster, and Craig Gordon, who left Tynecastle under controversial circumstances. A statement
That's
on the
one way of
club's
putting it.
a statement on the club's official website stated that Banks was no longer available to play for the first team and he was no longer first team goalkeeping coach, but would take a similar coaching role with the youth team. And then at the end of that season, on the 1st of June 2009, he left and the next day signed for Dundee United.
Wow. So did Craig Levein bring him to Dundee United? He must have, or was it Peter Houston? Who? No, they won the cup under Peter Houston. I think Craig Levein was the
2009.
manager, no?
I did, Ken. It doesn't say. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna have a look. I'm gonna have a look at the Dundee United manager.
However, Tommy Wright signed him obviously for St Johnstone because they played together at Bolton.
Ah. Oh wow. There's a good bit of knowledge. I didn't know that.
So yeah. So yeah. And do you want to know a fun little thing and the reason he came into my head?
Yeah, go for it.
He was the Blackpool goalkeeping coach from 2020 and 2022 under Neil Critchley.
Wow, small world.
Yeah.
Jesus. Shane
So,
Levine was Dundee United manager from 2006 to 2009.
we signed him.
So I'm assuming that he was the one that brought Steve Banks to Tannadice.
So there we go.
Look at that. Hearts and Blackpool and Levine and Critchley and
Yeah.
all comes together.
You complain in and then you end
nice.
up getting it anyway. A match made in heaven. But let us know if you manage to get Steve Banks. Because I think some people will immediately get that because if they think of the Burley clue, but he was playing in goals that day at Celtic Park.
I can't believe that. That's unbelievable.
It's crazy. But let us know if you did. And let us know if you enjoyed the episode on your podcast platform of choice. Please leave us a review. It really helps us out. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can get me on all the socials watching the highlights of that draw at Parkhead where Steve Banks was like Gordon Banks at Adam T. Kendo.
Genius. A genius comparison there. We'll be back next week on the normal day of recording to speak about Killie, to speak about St Johnstone, to preview more European games. Hopefully, we're still unbeaten. We might have lost both games, but until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.